one of our major problems is laziness. Laziness. Laziness comes in all different forms. And I always used to say there's two different laziness, Eastern laziness and a Western laziness. Eastern laziness is like me. If I get a nice cup of, nowadays, thermos of tea, not a cup of tea, thermos of tea, and a beautiful sunshine, somewhere corner quietly, I sit there for days, honestly. Honestly. That is Eastern laziness. You don't want to do anything, whatever is happening. And then maybe the room is catching a fire or whatever, and we're not going to move. So that's it. The phones may be ringing, whatever is happening, let it happen. So you don't want to move. Physically you can't move, that's different. And then laziness, you don't want to move. So combination of that is not great. So that is Eastern laziness. Western people are somehow just you can't sit down. You just got to be running and doing something, keep yourself absolutely busy. I don't know, busy for something or busy for nothing, but keeping yourself busy, that is lazy too. Because that's avoiding what you really have to do. You avoid that. But sort of going to that direction, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that. Sort of many preconditions you provided. So actually you're avoiding what you really need to do. Spiritually or even materially. Even people working, why you're working? Because you need to make money. And you're not doing money-making thing, you're doing something for the money-making to be making it easy. By the time when your actual money-making times comes, then the death will be there. And this is what's happening with a lot of people. I see it. So honestly, people make it as something getting ready for easy. And when it's going to be ready, nothing, never going to be ready. But preparing for that, you work your butt off. Honestly, so much. But what you need to do is you're not applying your wisdom. You're not applying your enthusiasm. You try to make it easy. Easy for what? Easy for nothing. So that's why I said making busy for nothing. And that is laziness. There is no enthusiasm at all. Many people. So lack of enthusiasm is one of our biggest problems of whatever we try to do, we don't accomplish. Nothing really gets done. Everything is something left over, something incomplete, something that is not 1%, 2%. Everybody does that. Everybody does that. Not really complete. And also the mind is such that when the major thing is done, you say completed. But there's a little minor things you have to do, so many, and which is even sometimes more than the major work. We have a saying in Tibetan, if you're building a house building is easy, completing is very difficult. That's what the Tibetans used to say. the manner, detail work in there is terrible. And so unless person has enthusiasm, it will never complete. Never complete, a lot of things left out. Because the measure was done, so in the mind you say it's done. There's so much left over. So this is example of everyday life. But in reality, spiritually, avoiding negativities will leave so many things out. Building a positive, we leave so many things out. So the major things we just yap, go over, but the very detailed manner things we left out. What makes it beautiful, what makes it good, is the manner, detail, work. That makes it good, that makes it perfect, that makes it wonderful. You know it. We know it. We build a house, right? And we said the structure is good. And then you go in there, and that corner is left out, that portion is left out, that portion is left out. No, not this thing done, not that thing done. Or there's a floor, there's a roof, there is a wall, there is a window, there is a door, and that's it. And then many details are not done. So it's not a beautiful house. It is a structure. Really, it's not a beautiful house at all. So people don't get that. When the structure is done, you think it's done. So the major work is still left. And then it's done, it's the time to pay the bill. So this is what it happens, right? So because there's a lack of enthusiasm. Even our mundane everyday work, everything. So then spiritually we definitely have a lot of problem with this. Whatever you do, it will not become good. Whatever you do, we need it to become perfect and wonderful and helpful. It doesn't become because of the lack of enthusiasm. We've been talking about the essence of Tibetan Buddhism in this sense. It is not really what is the real Tibetan Buddhism is, or what is all about it. But in this sense, how does one individual, whether you are Buddhist or not Buddhist, whatever you are, spiritually, how does one live one's life? Karmically right. Karmically right, and legally okay. And I think that is what we are looking at it. And it's not so much emphasizing on not so much emphasizing on what the philosophy is all about it, and what is doctrine or dogma or even dharma. So we're really thinking sort of a bare bones, what really one should be doing, no matter whatever faith or tradition you are. And as a human being, as a good human being, what should we do? Which is not creating a new one again. Because if you want to create a new one, you're going to have a lot of problems. There will be no end of a problem. You're not creating a new one. But the existing, for me, it is based on Buddhism. I'm not trying to run away from Buddhism. I can't run away. Because then I have nothing else left, honestly. So based on the Buddha and based on the Tibetan, earlier Tibetan masters and their experience, and that's how this talk, through Sunday talk for this year, is really focused on that.